Your ChatGPT sucks because it knows nothing about your business. In this video, I'll show you the exact 6 settings I use as an AI engineer to transform ChatGPT from a generic bot to a personalized business assistant that drives real value. I'm Blake, an AI engineer, and I help out businesses across New Zealand actually get results from AI. And in this video, you're getting my exact setup. First up is a 2-for-1. This is your custom instructions and your personalization. AI is built off data and information, and it knows nothing about your business and who you are yet. And so when you're asking it questions, it's just purely guessing. And so we need to actually teach it about ourselves and our business. Jumping into ChatGPT, we can go on the bottom left and go on our profile icon and go into personalization. We see at the top, base style and tone. By default, it will be a very balanced one, which is a bit monotone and not really suitable for most users, but you can change it to professional, friendly, candid, quirky, or efficient based on your personal needs. I typically have mine on professional as I want quite a polished output that's really precise and accurate, and it really affects how that tone comes out, which is really useful. The next one down is custom instructions, and this is where we add any additional information about our business, who we are, what we do, and it can really cater that response output and what it thinks about to better match our needs. This is the exact framework I implement in businesses for custom instructions. We start off with localization. The majority of training information is coming from America, so we need to make sure that it's specific to New Zealand. Use New Zealand spelling, New Zealand business terminology, reference regulations where relevant from New Zealand, also talk about IRD, GST, ACC, Privacy Act, all of that core information. Next, we talk about the industry context. Specify what your industry is. Are you in the trades? Are you in real estate? What is your actual client looking like? What are you doing on your day job? Tone of voice, clear, practical, non-hype. This is what you prefer, and it just adds to what we did at the very start. Output structure. If you like having a short little summary at the very top, you like bullet point formats, it's just really how you want to format that response from AI. And then assumptions and constraints. If you're going to be having a junior go do some work for you, and you're going to want AI to then do that, what are the information points that you're going to be constantly telling that intern or graduate that really help them on that path? Any bits of extra information, assumptions, constraints, just chuck it in there and it will help format that output nicer for you. I'll leave that template in the comments and description below, and you can just copy and paste it in and then fill it out for your own information. So like I said here, just copy and paste it in, write your information in here that's relevant to you. Then scrolling down, we have the About You section. This is where we can put in your nickname, not really important, but it just what it will refer to you as, your occupation, what your job actually is, more about you. This is more of a personal one. What are your interests, your values, preferences, any of other that sort of thing. Not super helpful in terms of the business context though. Then there's also the memory section down here. This is really important to leave on. So what this does is as you're actually conversating with ChatGPT and you're asking it questions, you're going back and forth, it will actually store memories about you. So if you mention you're doing a project work for this client, you're talking about a bit of your business, it can actually remember that context. And then when you're talking to it later on, it can actually bring that information up and it can reference that chat history, which makes it a lot more catered as it learns more and more about your business. The good thing about it is if it's referencing old memories, you can go into manage and go through and delete anything that is not relevant. But a really, really important setting in here that everyone needs to have is going into data controls. And at the very top, it says improve the model for everyone. Anyone that I know should have this off, especially if you're putting any personal information or business information into it. If you had this on and I put in company documentation, and what this does is it actually allows ChatGPT to train their models behind the scenes on your prompts, your information, anything that you put into ChatGPT, it could train on. What does that actually mean? That means if I put a confidential agreement, a contractor agreement into ChatGPT, I have this on, potentially they use that to train a model. John across the road, he goes in, talks about, hey, what is Harkness AI? And then it can actually reference that document that I put in, even though it's confidential because the model got trained on it. So you really want to keep this off so none of your information could potentially get leaked out in a trained model. Another thing I'm seeing a lot of people not know how to do properly is actually use the model selector. And so with 5.1 being recently released, it makes it a lot easier. But if you click on the top left, you can actually choose between auto, instant, and thinking. Auto just switches between these two models here. Instant is for really quick responses. What does this mean? And it will go really quickly and give you a response. Whereas thinking, it will take its time, search more articles, look through your information and format its response a lot nicer. And so when you're really trying to do something more complicated, like analyze contracts, any of that sort of arrangement, you really want to be on that thinking model. But then to go even further, if you want more thought, there's deep research, which a lot of people have actually forgotten about, which is a feature that came out quite a while ago. And so if you go on the add button down here, you can go deep research. And so this allows you to have a whole range of different sources that you connect into, and it will build out a full like 25, even 50-page report analyzing different websites, different documentation, all of that for you, and put it into a full report format, executive summary, really nicely done. So that's a really cool thing to check out. To add more information into ChatGPT about our business, we can actually use their custom connectors. So if we go on our profile again, we can go into settings and go apps and connectors. This is where we can integrate our systems such as Gmail, Google Calendar, Drive, and they even have the Microsoft versions, the Outlook, calendars, Dropbox, SharePoint, Teams. And so this allows us to log in with our accounts and let AI actually read into that information. This is super useful for trailing through huge amounts of emails. For example, hey, when did John send me this email about this finance check? Where did this happen? And it can go through, look at my entire emails, look at my calendar, pull all that information for me without me leaving the app. And it's really easy to do. All you need to do is click on one of them, have the connect button and sign on in. Now that AI knows a lot more about our business, we can actually set up scheduled prompts. And so this is a prompt that you pass through to AI that runs on a daily or weekly basis automatically for you behind the scenes. There are some use cases for this, but it's really dependent on your business. If you're a larger scale company, you're kind of in the marketing space, what you could do is look for any news about my company that's currently out there, but then also you could look at competitors. What are the competitors doing? Is there any news out there as well? I personally use that for AI. What are the latest AI updates? Give me an update. Here's some bullet points and tell me what's going on so I'm keeping up to date in the space. So all you need to do is say, schedule this prompt to run every week or day, and then put the prompt in, and it will actually set that up automatically for you, which is cool. Once that comes back, you can go in and edit it, change the instructions, the name, the frequency, when it runs, all of that information, and it will just run in the background for you every week or whatever you set it up to be, and you'd get that information automatically without you having to do anything. So those are the quick steps to turn ChatGPT from a basic chatbot to a business assistant for you. Custom instructions allow you to kind of set the rules of what you want it to do, New Zealand context, other business information. Personalization keeps it more personal to you, who you are, what you are doing, tone of voice. Enabling memories, super important that it can actually learn off your previous conversations to gather more context about what you're trying to achieve. But you make sure to turn off training data. Do not share your information for everyone because that allows it to potentially leak out to other people. Model selection is really important, choosing between a thinking model or a quick and fast model, or even deep research if you need that. And scheduled prompts are a really useful tool as well for keeping up to date with latest news or just running things very specific to your business. If you found that useful, leave a like and subscribe. I post heaps of educational content on this channel. And if you're a business looking to actually implement AI that is going to be beneficial, reach out to me on the link in description below. I help out from educational training to custom development. Cheers.